Hello and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me here today for our co-creation together. It's nice to be here with you. I did my disappearing act again. And so, what I've come to realize is I'm going through a major shift. And I wasn't really aware of it until a couple of weeks ago, not realizing that this shift is literally transitioning me out of a period of probably the last maybe 30 or 40 years of my life where my incarnation was based on my soul's mission coming in here for the purpose of clearing my karma, but also for the purpose of supporting Gaia and the collective through the ascension process and anchoring much of the distortion for the patriarchal abusive powers through my physical body, which was evident to me when I had cancer for the first time back in 2000, and then again in 2004, and then in 2013, I created the Bartholin cyst. So, back then I had the realization that, wow, this is really something important, something big that's taking place that I'm lending myself to, because I knew I wasn't going to die from any of it. And I didn't really realize until just recently how big it was, as I'm now going through this transition that's going to change a lot of things for me. And I could feel it happening already, which is why I've been taking so much downtime and I've been off social media a lot. It's really to kind of collect myself and have a better understanding of what's transpiring on the earth and also within the collective experience, so that I could keep bringing the latest as I see it here. A couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 months or so, I did a post. I wrote a post and I said, are you ready? Everything that we've been working towards the last several years, especially the last 3 years during this whole COVID story, is unfolding now, so that we can make our timeline choices and decide where it is that we want to be in our reality heading forward. And why this is so important is because as we get into the equinox, everything is going to change. Everything's going to shift. Okay. And it might not shift in a very physical way. In other words, I've explained this before. You might not see a different reality playing out in front of you, but you're going to feel it. You're going to know it. You're going to sense it. In other words, people around you, situations around you that are not directly relating to you or affecting you directly, but that others are going through, that appear to be chaotic or appear to be tumultuous or have some kind of victim consciousness or negative impact, right? There is a setback or something to that effect. That's the 3D timeline. All of that is a 3D timeline. And so if you are seeing that playing out around you, engaging with people, and all you keep hearing is like trauma stories or grief or about their setbacks or about losses or about anything, that's 3D, because 3D is going to be about suffering. And 5D is going to feel like you're smooth sailing for the most part. You're navigating really well you're not feeling the stress that another might be feeling. Okay. That's the 5D timeline. And as I've said before, everything is now separating. This is it. It's already occurred. It's occurred many, many times, but this is really where it's gonna be more palpable than it's ever been before. Okay. Because this equinox is going to be the switch, right? When you come into a room and you turn the light on and you flip the switch, it's going to be the switch. And you're going to have an awareness, those of you that are following this channel, that follow the work that I offer to you, you're going to feel it. You're going to see it. You're going to sense it. You're going to understand it. You're going to have an awareness to it. And you're going to be like, oh, that's 3D, or that's what 3D feels like, right? Getting together with some friends that you haven't seen in maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then coming together with them, expecting it to be like old times, only to find out you no longer have anything in common with any of them, right? That's 3D showing up. You left that behind and it doesn't resonate with you anymore. You can't connect to it any longer, okay? That's what that would look like. Or maybe you're hearing about some disasters in your area and you're getting tuned in emotionally to what's taking place, and you're feeling the pain and the anguish and the suffering of what is taking place in and around that area. Instead of being an observer, now you've just stepped into 3D through that information that's coming to you. Okay. You want to step back into 5D consciousness and see it be as an observer, aware to what is, right? Everything is deconstructing right now, but this is it. This is the timeline where it's very, very important for us to make the choices. Are we going to stand in our 5D and higher states of consciousness, or are we going to let what is playing out impact us in a lower conscious way? And then that's the choice we're making to play out. We don't want to do that. There's no reason for it. We can stay in our higher timeline and move forward through the next couple of months into 2024 with grace and ease, no matter what is playing out around the outside, right? Now, the more, of course, the more we're paying attention to what is going on out there, the greater the chances that we're going to be impacted by it in some way, shape, or form. If we're watching it, we're noting it, we're emoting it, we're talking about it, we're sharing it, we're repeating it, we're keeping it alive in these ways, then we're right there in it. The minute we disconnect, we realize we don't have to be connected in that way. That's how this reality works. Energy is always in motion. It never stops. It never slows down. Your reality is created based on your belief system. Look at where you hold your beliefs. If you feel you are not entitled, to don't deserve something, that's the reality that you're going to play out. Without an awareness to it, you may think you deserve it, but inside you don't really believe that you deserve it. Your belief system is not of the deserving. It is of the belief that you are not someone who could ever achieve that or could ever receive that. So this is where it counts. It really is important for us to start to structure our beliefs in a different way. And I'm finding this as I'm pulling out more to understand what is transpiring in my own life. I am having an awareness to a lot of things that are playing out. The final implosion, deconstruction, dissipation, whatever you want to call it, of the patriarchal abuse of power. Okay. It's like that final push is happening now. This is it. It's transitioning. And in its transition, my soul is being released from it so that I no longer have to carry the weight of that for anyone, for Gaia, for the collective, in any way, shape, or form, not even for myself. I'm being released from it. And you might also be feeling that way too, known or unknowingly, right? And it's been really an interesting thing for me to tune in and see. And, it's funny because I've been saying all along that this raise in consciousness is not going to come from a solar flash. The solar flash will be within you. Talked about this so many times, but it's not going to be this mass planetary solar flash that's going to ignite everybody and illuminate everything for everybody. And now finally, I'm starting to see people catch up with that and say, oh yeah, by the way, it's not going to be the solar flash that's going to make consciousness suddenly prevalent on the planet and suddenly in balance more than not on the planet. It's going to be a natural progression, a natural state of evolution of our consciousness that is going to wake us up to our awakened state, our sense of knowing, self-knowing, source self, right? Our divine essence of who we are, our creative state. And I thought, wow, that's so powerful, because I must have changed the timeline, flipped the timeline, shifted the timeline in some way, shape, or form, that I'm now seeing my truth playing out in front of me, because I've held that belief so long. I mean, I'm talking about probably the last, at least 3 years that I've been talking about that, right? And everybody's, no, it's going to be a big solar flash. But this is relative to our conscious awakening. So for me, this is like amazing experience, because this equinox for me marks a period of time where I'll be shifting into a new state within myself. I don't know what that looks like yet, but I feel it coming, because I have to be honest with you, I incarnated under responsibility, heavy responsibility, and healing and holding pain and suffering on behalf of the collective. And I've done that. I've done all of that a number of times. And when the collective and Gaia went into physical ascension in October 2017, and I've talked about that too, I shifted that to move that forward by releasing the Bartholin cyst. And now it's just all really kind of clicking in for me as to how all of this is making sense. So yeah, we're still going through these incredible shifts, like this Virgo new moon that we're going to have, I think, tomorrow, because it's a powerful moon that is going to be a moon of liberation and freedom. It's also going to be a moon that is going to shine a spotlight on health issues, and how to work with our health in a higher way. And I feel like this is part of a transition that's actually happening for me personally, as I may be moving beyond my ascension responsibilities, because I feel like that's coming to a close for me, as I am now switching hats and switching gears, where I will be talking to you more about healing. And we will discuss healing in many different ways, and how we can use circumstances in our lives to not only find our well-being and healing, but to catapult us to new directions and facets of who we truly are as a divine creator, which is exciting to me, because I've been waiting for something to show up, because I felt it coming. And I felt like, there's so many new lights igniting out there that are going to be talking about, talking more about the energies, and, keeping the ascension timeline moving forward with, energy upgrades and all of that sort of stuff. And I feel like I'm coming back into alignment with my true nature regarding healing, and how healing takes place, and where we need to take this. And it's kind of coming in divine timing, because I'm anticipating the finally, it feels like so long, the launch of my botanical website, which is going to have other things attached to it, associated to it too. It's going to be another platform where I'm going to be talking about healing in a different way. But what I'm excited about is the creation that I'm feeling coming. I'm actually feeling that resonate through my body very deeply as I say that. And one of the videos that I'm going to be releasing soon is with a beautiful soul who actually was part of my online mastery community for a while. And I got to know her through one-on-one sessions, and she's just a beautiful soul. And I had the pleasure of having a chat with her the other day that we recorded for this channel. And I'm excited to share that with you because in that chat, we're going to be talking about autism, how she was able to use it to help her align herself into higher states of consciousness and also help her two boys who both have autism. And then I looked at that and I thought to myself, wow, that's amazing, because it felt so freeing and so powerful. I thought, well, maybe I'm going to be doing some podcasts too and bringing through some collaborations with other people for the purpose of my channel and helping to continue to elevate the standards here and the consciousness and bring forth healing in all different ways as we are now connecting in all new ways. And so this is really feeling very exciting to me, something new, because I am ready for that. I am so looking forward to it. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot and it's exciting. And, it's not scary though, because I know that the universe always has a plan. Even when I don't have a plan, the universe has a plan. And it's always conspiring to move us forward in some way, shape, or form, So I have some new things, some new ideas, some new content for this channel that's going to keep us in alignment with healing, moving forward on our path with regard to healing, accessing our divine co-creator states, self-empowerment, and so much more. And so my wish is for you to receive it in the highest way and feel it aligned with it, and for us to continue to co-create and work together in this way. And so if there's anything that you would like me to bring forward regarding healing, I would love to be able to share that with you. I have also a video that will be coming out in the next couple of days where I'm talking about aspartame and how through work that I did with someone. Now, this was back in the 90s, the early 90s, how I did work, and I wasn't even doing this work yet, but you see how spirit is always preparing us, right? How I did work with this young woman. She was a young mom at the time, and she was older than me. I was younger than her. And I hadn't even had, cancer the first time, but I understood, the nature of my intuition, and I offered her what was coming through, and through that, she was able to heal what was taking place in her body. So I have that video coming out too, and then a lot of really good stuff planned. So this channel is probably going to be changing in some way, shape, or form. Don't let that scare you. It's really exciting for me to be able to offer this to you because it's time. We're going to talk about some ways in which we can utilize these times right now, and also awareness to do our healing work in so many different ways, So these frequencies are super heavy, super charged. I was telling my class last Thursday, I think we had class last Thursday, that the difference between now and Ascension back in 2013, 2014, 2015, is that these frequencies are no longer coming in one at a time. See, back then, we could jump on and say, hey, we have plasma coming in, and it looks like a stream of plasma is going to be coming in for a little while, and this is what you're going to feel or how you're going to feel it, right? And we'd get ready for that. We'd be like, oh, we know the stomach's going to gurgle. We know this is going to happen. We know it might get harder to breathe. We know, all these bloating with the stomach, right? We might not go to the bathroom the right way. Like it just like it's like, brings in like roto-rooter sometimes, right? But you got to go through the first part of it where you've got like all of the distortion going on, like the bubbling in the drain and all of that sort of stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, like another couple of days, and you'd be like, okay, now it's going to be rainbow light. And then during the rainbow light phase, you would see, transition happen, people transitioning off the earth plane, lots and lots, very quickly, right? I anticipate that for the end of September. October definitely is going to be a big month for that. Souls that are done here, they're done. They've work through their soul contract, their soul agreements. They don't need to be here anymore. They finished their job and they don't need to stick around, and they're going to be going, right? No judgment. Can't be judging them like, oh, they're not doing their ascension because they left. No. What if they're more ascended than we are? And they just came back here to lend a hand so that we could have a better experience at playing our role out. How about that, right? We have to look at it from a different perspective. So, back then when we'd have rainbow light, and then we'd see rainbows filling the sky, right? On an average day, the next thing you knew, there was all these rainbows in the sky, and you'd be like, where's that coming from? Where's that coming from? And then it would go back into like crystalline light, and you would get like a hive, breakout hives, or you would have like this insane craving for sugar, chocolate, because the crystalline technology just activates that. And so it was always, it would basically one energy at a time is how it was coming through, and you could always categorize. And then it started to shift, and then we were having like plasma crystalline or rainbow plasma or rainbow plasma. Now we have all these new codes. We have all these new frequencies, these incredibly new frequencies. I'm seeing in the light coming in, a lot of galactic frequencies, new codes, new light coming in, new codes for the plasma, even for Gaia, new codes for Gaia, new energies for Gaia, right? It's incredible. I've been working with this code for a very, very long time, the 9/11 code, actually. And it does have to do with 9/11, but it doesn't have to do with 9/11. It's actually a healing frequency that I bring through for Gaia and for humanity. It has the value of 9, which is expansion and endings or culminations. The 11, which is, of course, offering manifestations, right? And then the code of 2, which is the pathways, balance, harmony. It's a very intense and complex code that is coming through. And don't be surprised if I say it here and you start seeing it, because it's activating the code within you that is carrying that essence of that, right? And so without getting into it, 9/11 actually disrupted the higher level aspect of that code when that tragic event happened. And it was meant to deter away from the level of power that code holds, right? But now it's fully transacted again. It's fully engaged. It's it's amplified in its state, right? Because 9 + 1 is the power of 11, and 11 is manifestation. And it's also a master number in numerology, although I'm a master number 22, which is the master builder. But if you take two 11s and you add them together, you get the number 22, which is the master builder number, which is what I am. And so it's got so much to it. It's very hard for me to explain in just a little bit of time here, and I don't want to take too much more of this. I want to try to keep this short and sweet, but it's a very significant code that I've been working with. So if you start to notice the 911 code, try to associate it with expansion, the power within you, the ability to be expanded. I'll probably do a video on this at some point down the road to explain this a little bit more so you have a better understanding of it, because I want to bring this code back into its full empowerment again and offer it to all of you as a transmission for an activation within you to raise your consciousness. You are getting that here now, but I would like to expand on it even more. So if you start seeing 911, just drop a 911 in the comment field so that I know that you've been activated by it and you're stepping into the fullness of who you are, activating those codes within you to step into your own power of manifestation, balance, harmony, right? All of that within you. Allowing yourself to stay on your path and your fullness as we're bringing this back. So that's what's been taking place with me. It's been a very exciting time and a bit of a confusing time. For a while, I had to go through the apathy, and I really wasn't sure what was taking place with me because I didn't feel like doing anything. I didn't feel like working. Work didn't feel like what I was supposed to be doing anymore. And so things are changing. And I know with the equinox, I say goodbye to the last 30 to 40 years of my life, as I don't have to serve that schedule, that soul contract. I don't have to serve that anymore. I'm done there. So this is really an exciting time for me, for us, for all of humanity, because every single one of us, you included, especially those of you that are tuned to this channel that are, really with the work, we're all shifting in magical ways. Between this Virgo new moon and the equinox, this is going to catapult us into the next phase of who we are if we let it. We have to let it take us to that next level. Okay, so stand in your awareness. Don't let these energies pull you down. The mix that we have now, this cocktail-like mix taking place that has all of these different blue ray messenger light, when you look in the sun and you see all these crystalline, crazy going on there. And then you have the plasma and the picture is all distorted and it's blurry and it's not clear, right? All of these things taking place. All of these high level codes and energies, frequencies coming into us. Don't let that take you offline. Just be like, okay, we got this. We're going to be moving forward, and it's okay. I know how to do this, because it's not just one code anymore. It's many frequencies coming through at the same time. We have to make the choice to move beyond and pull ourselves out of the illusion. Don't watch it. Let it go. I've talked about this so many times. Allow yourself to just be present for what is, what's playing out in your reality, and let go of everything else, especially if you have to fight against it or fight with it or fight for it. Let it go. Let it go. You're going to get triple, quadruple, 10,000 times, a bazillion times what you let go of. It's coming. Just trust, right? We have just a little bit more work to do. It's coming though. Don't listen to the outer narratives that are, have all that fear porn they're spreading and everything. Just stay focused. Stay focused on your timeline. Stay focused on where you are. Stay in your work. Stay in your work so that you can amplify the highest light and be that highest light. Okay? So I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Know that I love you so, so very much. Have a wonderful whatever it is that you're doing, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.